When my family got the cancer diagnosis, life hit the fan big time. And we went into crisis mode, and I became a caregiver. And I thought to myself, wow, this is going to be really hard. But I'm strong. We can do this. We're going to get through this no matter what. But over time, I became a little less sure of my ability to manage all the details, the medical stuff I was trying to learn, all the little details we never saw coming. Changes in our lifestyle, caring for our family, running our businesses, living our lives. The harder it got, the longer it went on, the more I realized my own mental and physical health was suffering. I was tired, stressed. I was depressed, frustrated, maybe just a little bit angry. And I didn't see any way out of it, because there was no way I was going to stop what I was doing or even slow down. When we're so busy caring for others, we simply can't or won't make the time to care for ourselves too. We start sliding down that slippery slope of neglecting our own care, saying, I don't have time, that our needs are less important. We shut out everything that's not essential. That slippery slope drops us into overwhelm mode, panic, chronic distress, and fear, the potential to make mistakes, get sick ourselves. This is the caregiver's dilemma. Opting out of caring for a loved one is not an option for most of us, but neither should be opting out of caring for ourselves, right? It's necessary that we care for ourselves in order to show up as the kind of person, the kind of carer we want to be. And if we don't, somebody's going to suffer. So, the caregiver's dilemma is, how do we do both? If we can't stop or slow down, how do we care for ourselves and those we love? Now, I tried a lot of things in desperation. Many of them made me feel worse, not better, before I finally found a way to care for myself too, while still being the best person and caregiver I could be. In a moment of desperation, I discovered the simple, elegant power of mindfulness. I forced myself to take a really big step, a mindfulness retreat. And it was the beginning of my understanding of the ability to manage more skillfully. It revived me in so many ways. It took a lot of study and exploration to understand how to fit that mindfulness into our busy lives. And now I've distilled what I studied into something manageable for me. Really, that anyone can do in minutes, not days. Caring for yourself doesn't mean you care less for others, or that you take time away from them. Nor does it have to take big chunks of time from your life, because let's face it, almost everyone today is struggling with taking that precious time. Especially the hundreds of caregivers I've spoken with in all types of caring situations. They tell me they just don't have time for that mindfulness stuff. I get it. They're imagining sitting in meditation for hours, moving to an ashram, chanting sutras, learning yoga or tai chi. And those are all good things, mind you, but they're not for everyone. To be honest, I never thought it was for me either. I was too busy. It seemed too woo-woo. It seemed like work. But after trying a lot of things that were most definitely not good for me, as I started looking more deeply into mindfulness, I realized I don't have time to not be mindful, because it helps me to be more creative, productive, more focused, more attentive to what really matters, and happier. Yes, happier. And that makes me a better caregiver, parent, friend, leader, human. It suddenly dawned on me that I was spending a lot of time focused on how busy I was, how much I had to do, how guilty I felt if I did anything for myself. It just didn't feel right. even though in my heart, I knew it would have been okay. I couldn't get out of that negative cycle of stress. Okay, I wouldn't. So I chose less than satisfying things to devote my time to. Binging on streaming TV, drinking to go to sleep, crying in the shower, fixing things that weren't even broken because I wanted to keep my hands busy, trying to manage everything and refusing help. Whether you're busy 24/7 caring for someone who needs constant vigilance or someone who needs regular care over periods of days, weeks, or years, an infant, a parent, a spouse, a friend, you might understand how quickly you can get burned out from doing too much in too little time, worrying, obsessing over details. And when I think about managing care for a loved one in a care facility whom you can't even reach due to the pandemic, I see how frustrating and fear-ridden that must be, how traumatizing, how exhausting it must be, how the dread of what might be keeps that cycle of fear churning. Yet if we don't take care of ourselves, we might not be there when they need us. The beauty of mindfulness is that we begin to see the patterns we've fallen into, so we can choose better patterns, so we can lose the noise and focus on what matters, and be better humans, and be better carers. Now, I know you're probably saying to yourself, yeah, great, but I don't have time to learn this, much less do it. I know. It seemed impossible to me too, but actually, now I use my time just a bit more wisely, mindfully even. The trick is to incorporate it into your daily life. It doesn't have to take much time. You can handle this. Think of it as microdosed mindfulness. It doesn't have to take all day or even 30 minutes. Little moments throughout the day add richness and calm to our lives and those we touch. That helps us be more focused and more productive when we need to be, and relaxed and rested in between. Let me share with you 2 simple microdosed mindfulness habits you can do anywhere, anytime. When you feel yourself slipping down that slope towards overwhelm, stop for a pause. This seems so basic, doesn't it? But we get so wrapped up that we don't pause. And it takes little time, and it's so powerful. Just stop for a moment, a breath even. The power of this pause is epic. It allows our mind to notice, to evaluate, to rest, and gather fresh energy. I can't count how many times I've paused before acting, and things actually resolved themselves before I had to do anything. When in conversation, pause and listen. People will say more to fill the gap, but if you keep talking, you'll miss something, maybe something really important. Use that pause, that sacred pause, as a way to rest your wild mind for a moment. When you're waiting for something, allow yourself a moment to simply be, without having to do a thing. It's incredibly restful, and you can do it anywhere, just like this. That pause becomes a habit that refreshes, restores, revives. When you've learned to pause, you can go one step further to nurture your resources. We all have valuable resources right at our fingertips. Maybe even take them for granted. Sometimes, when we're most stressed and we most need them, we overlook them. They're all around us like treasures. The smile of a loved one, a memory of a time you were blissfully happy, a shaft of light coming in a window, or a cloud drifting across the sky. Sometimes it's something as simple as a stone or a seashell that brings back a memory. I carry one in my pocket. When I'm stressed, it serves as a touchstone to remind me of that time. A gentle reminder. Use this pause to check in with yourself. What's important to me right now, in this moment? Mindfulness can be about choosing what's important in this moment, or to simply experience this moment. It can also be about choosing what we give our attention to, or about noticing what someone else is giving their attention to. Noticing how that feels if you're giving your attention to negativity. Look around you until you can find something, anything, that'll bring a smile to your face. A pet, a flower, looking out the window. It shifts yourself from negativity to positivity, and then hold on to that feeling of warmth, happiness even. Hold it as the precious thing it is. The longer you can hold that feeling, the better. Lifting your spirit for even a second can help you to create a shift in how you feel, help you shift your mindset so you can be more resilient, less reactive. When you encounter the caregiver's dilemma in your life, and I guarantee you will, think of how a microdose of mindfulness here and there can help you to be more resilient, better able to manage caring for those you love, including yourself. It only takes a moment, but the returns are immense. And I'll close here with my wish for you. A loving kindness prayer, because all of us could use it right now, but especially those who are caregivers. May you be happy. May you be safe. And may you have ease.